touch of love upon death's frame. If having my heart was worth the pain, what joy could you see beyond the grave?
Hey, good morning, everyone. How's it going? 8:26 Central, 9:26 Eastern Time. Time to get the day started after a crazy, crazy Friday and hopefully a relaxing weekend for you. 464.26 is where we open up. That's about a $6 move, $5 move off of Friday's close. A little craziness to say the least, a little bit of a buy up. Can't say that I'm surprised after this market, but here we are. So today's name of the game is to identify whether or not we continue on upward and just keep on climbing, the bullish trend continues, or do we just have a little bit of reprieve from Friday after and then continuing a sell-off into the week and doing our really monthly oscillation, which it's turning out we haven't had a good monthly sell-off since September. So we're due. We're 2 months shy, or 2 months due of one of our monthly sell-offs. So we'll be looking out for that. I've got some key levels pinned on which to look at. I'm going to definitely make sure that I do not start forming a bias here, and that's why I wanted to form these levels. I was very careful about forming today's levels because I wanted to make sure that we have good bounce points, good resistance points, and a good strategy. That's why I posted the kind of if-and statements in my pre-market analysis, so be on the lookout for that. As stated, the key levels I want to look for, if we hold 46.50 and the VIX starts selling off, I anticipate more bullish action, and I'll look at that going into the 4700 level. If we break below 46.50 and start testing 46.30, fail that and go to 4600 while the VIX maintains or climbs, then I'll be looking for a bearish thesis. I'm going to let the market pick which side I want to hang my hat on. So that's why I pin those levels very closely, and I'll be watching that. Today's name of the game is watching the VIX. Just keep your eyes closed on the VIX right now. We're at 24 holding. That's a very aggressive VIX, which think about it as a primed market. This market is primed for a big move. When you have the VIX at 24, 25, 26, you're not going to have really tight chop. You're going to have large oscillations in price, and that is what we have to be careful with. I'm going to be playing the December 1st contracts. That just sounded like Mike Tyson there for a second. The December 1st contracts, and I'll be looking for some oscillations in price with the IVs being very high. Let me get the YouTubers on here. Hey, what's going on, YouTubers? You got the chart up there? Would I be considering a swing puts if we see a bounce? No, not in this market. Things are, with the VIX being at 24, 25, premiums are very high. I don't want to be, like any move like this. I mean, look, we just saw a $5 gap up. So I don't want to, there's a lot of news out. With the Omicron news, along with the volatility, things can go either way. So this is a very, very, very risky environment to take overnight positions. For me, I'm out on swing plays for this week. I don't care what the situation is because the risk is too high to get blown out. Unless you want to take some micro positions, that's fine. But for me, the risk is too high as getting blown out one way or the other. So I am electing not to take swing positions. Right now, R1 is holding beautifully. A little oscillation right around this price. I'll be looking once again. I'll be looking at the December 1st contracts for some plays right out of the gate. We have got 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and then now the market is open. It's time to kick the tires and light the fires and make a little money. A little green action right here off of R1. Obviously, goes without saying, the market is bright green. Couple of changes to the watch list if you noticed. I've increased the top 8 to now top 10, and I've shuffled things around because the weightings have adjusted with SPY. Microsoft is now the top dog, and Tesla has moved up from the bottom 8 to number 4 on the list. So they've increased their holdings on Tesla. Green candles right here off of R1 SPX, obviously gapped up here, right there. SPX, I've added these levels here on SPX. I got a call wall, the PVI range, absolute strike, gamma level, and volatility trigger. If we come down to 45.95 on that trigger, just be on the lookout for a lot of crazy action there, down on that other area. There's SPY. Let's take a look around the X's. I adjusted the X sector. Some of the X sectors adjusted just slightly as well too. But XLK is climbing. Y green. V was green, sold off. XLF. So a lot of similar action here. Little close, little slow, little slow. Hey, red action there on XLP. Energy's up. I expected that. XLRE. All right, all right. So green action on tech at the moment. Now, one thing to be aware of, the market is so diverse right now with these large swings that candles are going to look small when they're actually large. So just be aware as you start going into that kind of area, like a large candle. You notice that it could be a 50 cent or $1 candle, but it's going to look small relatively because the scale is so spread out. Just a little admin point. What's up, YouTube? How's it going? To me, I don't want to guess on what's going to happen with the sell-off or a buy-up. I want to watch the levels here today. Like, I say it all the time. I don't like to form predictions on Sunday night or Monday morning. I like to let the market set the tone for the week, especially as this volatile area that we have right now. We've got key levels that key. Do you love me? We got some key levels that we need to pay attention to make our decision point. That if we fail up or down, we very well could end up at 450 or we could end up at 470. It just all depends on how the market wants to interact with. All right. All right, let's look around here. So that nice green pop sold off down to S1. We've got a tight R1 S1. There was some two decent levels right there. That's why I elected to put those so close. And we'll see how S1 starts to interact at the right now. SPX, QQQ, selling off there after a nice little green pop. VIX is holding 24. And like I said, I want to be very cautious on VIX. Let's see if it bounces off again off of this pivot. 23.89 was the low right there, 23.88. So we'll see how it interacts off of that. The bonds are off considerably, 148.36. That's over a $2 point move on the VIX. On the bonds, with the rates popped up over 1.5 again, from 1.47 to 1.56. And the futures have been having a crazy crazy night and a crazy morning, popping up once again to 46.58, which is just under the 46.50 trigger, and holding there. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Steven, Maddie, Paul, Field Sweeper. Alrighty then. Alright, so let's take a look how the top 10 are doing. Microsoft, the big dog, is up, but got some wicks there. Apple. Tesla's green. Surprise, surprise. Google, both the Alphas and Charlies are selling off there. Nvidia's got some strong green. Meta. They are now officially changed the Meta on the stock, but still labeled as FB. Berkshire was added. Right there, we've got some red-green. And then JP Morgan same as well. Some more stocks to monitor. A little bit of red here. A little bit of red here. Ooh, nice little red candles here. A little bit of profit taking. SPX. Going to the 3 minute. I got to put my watermarks on. There they are. Booyah. Midpoint 46.34 coming on down. Some beautiful, beautiful action here coming back down to S2, which was upward consolidation point in the pre-market channel. Is it prudent to stay on the sidelines for the better part of the day? I wouldn't necessarily say stay on the sidelines. Just be very careful. Just be very careful. Today's going to be a lot of volatile moves up and down. I just hate to see somebody get smoked out on a position. I'm going to make sure I trade at the levels, not in between the levels. That usually gives me some level of comfort, some safety net on making sure I don't get smoked out. All right, so we popped up there with the first green candle. Now 3 reds in a row. Going to the 5 minute here. There's a 3 minute, just red across the board. Although not too much. Just down here to 463 after popping up to 464858. So that's about $1.20 move. Nothing crazy. Let's put on our session ranges as well. I'm going to throw some VWAP on. Right there. All right, hammer candle right here at the bottom, just under S1. Hit 16,000 subscribers this weekend on YouTube, so thank y'all for the continued support. Awesome stuff. It's always awesome to see the continued growth and y'all coming out and supporting the community. It's good stuff. All right, more red. That green candle flip green or flip red. Green candle flip red. I'm sorry. All right. When the next episode of the podcast come out, it'll be this week. This week. Thanks, Tristan. Appreciate that. All right, a little bit of red, so not much shaking and baking yet this morning here. These price actions staying pretty tight relatively. Let's see how this next candle starts to form as we're kind of coming into the later half of the 8 o'clocks. VIX is still spiking up here to 24.59 after almost coming down to the pivot. Watch the VIX as we're still maintaining a high level of volatility here. A couple of down bottom wicks here. And now another green candle to see if that one holds. No trades just yet. No, I'm not holding any positions. Looking at the December 1st contracts. Tesla's up 3.78%. Man, look at that. 4 greens in a row, just absolutely going crazy. 11.25, and that's just Tesla. That's becoming the norm. But look at all of tech is actually up heavily. So 2% of Microsoft, Apple's up 2%, Amazon 1.2%, up 42 points. Tesla is up 4% now and climbing. They're up almost 50. Google is up 60 points there, 2%. Nvidia is up 3%. A lot of green action here in tech. Let's take a look at the X sectors, what's going on there. So obviously some green action in XLK. XLY is now green. XLV, healthcare fund coming down a little bit. XLF is doing the same, a little trickle down. XLC, and just looking around the market. So everything has popped up, but now just a little bit of red coming in, not much at all up at the top. Zero DT is scary. Yes, it is. It is coming. It is scary. All right. Let's take a look. December 1st, contracts. All right, I'm doing something a little bit different today. So on SPX, I'm going to be doing November 30th, and on SPY, I'm going to be doing December 1st. There's no volume on the SPX December 1st contracts, so until I start to see some volume coming there, I'm going to adjust accordingly. Plenty on the SPY, though. Plenty on the SPY. Premiums are very expensive today. Let's take a look at the SPX contracts. Dang, and then even these have low volume too. There's not a lot of players right there on those. All right, posted. All right, watch list is posted. Yeah, I mean, even the 1 DTEs on SPX have just little volume. There's not much trading going on in SPX at the moment. We'll see how that picks up going into the later half of the morning. Why do you trade options as opposed to futures? I've heard arguments for both sides and your main reasons. Futures are a little more pricey, have a little more fees, but I do trade futures in the pre-market hours. We'll see how that adjusts now that we have SPX, but I trade in pre-market hours, and the fact that it doesn't tie up a lot of buying power. So I trade those early in the mornings, Sunday nights, that kind of stuff, and during the day I trade SPY, SPX mainly because honestly, all the community trades SPY, SPX, and I want to make sure that I'm trading with them too. So and helping as many people as I can. Swung a few of those 462 calls. Nice. Well done. Great question. Sean asked, well, do I think the Omicron will change its hesitancy today? Man, I can't say that. Here's the thing. There's going to be a lot of headlines this week about the new virus strain. Whether good or bad, there's going to be stuff coming out, both sides of the coin. They're going to say, hey, this thing is going to be more transmittable. But another party's going to say, well, it's really not that bad. They're actually pretty mild symptoms. So just anticipate some large swings in the market as we have that's why I said in the pre-market analysis that we are in a narrative charged environment, which means we're in an environment this week where headlines can move the market, which normally y'all know I'm a firm believer that news is overblown. News moves in the market are less likely to be attributed to market news. However, this week could change that because we do have a charged narrative, which is the Omicron virus. So I do anticipate some larger swings. I'm actually surprised that we even have this tide of action coming out of the gate, stuck right here, 463.44, bouncing off of our S1 over and over and over again. How do you get access to the watch list? If you are a Patreoner, go down to the left side and click on OM Plays. That's where I post my watch list. But I do reserve it for my Patreon subscribers. What's a good implied volatility for options? Well, it depends what side of the coin you're playing on. If you're longer, If you're playing long positions, I like to have my implied volatility somewhere in the 6, 7, 8% lower implied volatility where I can pop things up or down. If you're, once you start getting up in the 20, 25 percenters like we are today, premiums start getting very, very pricey. And then you start having to fight crush if we do get a larger move and things sell off. So you have to be very careful. However, if you are selling premiums, you want that implied volatility to be very high, and you want to take advantage of any kind of pops, and then the resulting sell-offs or the buy-ups, depending on what side you hang your hat on. So there's a little downward action here. Red candles down to S2 after failing S1. Pop, 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 and now there we are, 462.94 on some S1. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so here's the dealio. Click over to the SPX. We are now hovering just above the midpoint. VET's midpoint, 46.34. 46.30 is the first level we want to look at. Gamma flips to negative under 46.21, and then things start getting super volatile. If we pop below 46.21, just look for big swings. And I'm going to be looking for, hey, do we hold 46.50 and above, or do we break below 46.30 and test 4600? And that's where I'm really going to start forming my thesis into the later half of the week. Is today going to be a big buyer's dead cat bounce, or are we going to have an actual buy up and we're going to continue on forward? Nice little red candles here. Let's see what's driving this. XLF, big sell-off in financials. As the bonds sold off but are buying back up here in market hours. Man, look at this big red candle. Big red candle. XLK is getting sold. What's causing this here? JP Morgan there. Microsoft is red. Apple's red. Man, a big sell-off across the board on tech after some strong action. Smoked out Tesla. And Apple, Microsoft, all of them. Coming down to S2 already. I do have an S5 primed and ready to go, by the way. If we do need it, I will post it. We're going to do one more line here. Booyah. We're going to label this one yellow, and we're going to make it a little fatter here. All right, cool, just doing a little admin work. Bottom wick, increased selling volume. Look at all that selling volume. Let's go out to the 15-minute chart here. Decrease on the 15-minute chart on the second half of the day. We just started the candle, though, so it's not really, it doesn't take too much data yet. Yep, premiums are super expensive. Super expensive. Alrighty, just looking around, looking around. Little green after that hammer off of S2. All right, so We had that hammer off of S2, now holding right here in between. We got some tight action. Might be a good time to start thinking about some short strangles if we, long as we maintain a couple of constraints here, which I'm shifting my theory there because I wasn't really focusing on strangles too much in early hours. But now the way this action is trading, I do anticipate some action there. So a lot of red, green right here. About to get real bullish. All right, all right. Very interesting action. A lot of wicks. A lot of wicks. So that means the buyers and sellers are duking it out right now. They're holding this baby tight, which this is a primed market. So do not get hypnotized by this short little choppy action. We could get a blowout one way or the other once things step in one side or the other. XLF is getting smoked right now. XLK, the tech, got bought right back up. So other than the top three, there is some selling action coming into the market here. Oh, look at XLP. Consumer staples is bright green. That's probably because they got a couple of, I believe Amazon and Tesla are both in XLP, so that's why I got some strong green. Energy's coming on down, real estate up and down. So a lot of up and down dichotomies along the X sectors here. Clean bounce right off of S2, and we got some green right here. Let's take a look at the old VIX right now. Coming down to 24, bounce right off of that pivot. Look at that, right off of it. Coming down, didn't quite all the way get down to 23.90, but now 24.47, and climbing up. Let's take a look at the 1 year. Let's see how the 1 year looks because things were looking super, super bearish. And the couple of things I want to point out to you is do not get euphorically bullish or bearish for that matter. So don't think that stock's all to go up. We're going to buy this and head on up to 476. And definitely take a look at the past because we had a significant gap down here. And yes, we could have a fake out in store, sure, and continue on up. However, today is going to be a very decisive day for the direction of the market for the rest of the week and then going into next week. I mean, you can see that we do have significant gaps down with a little bit of green. Look at this one here. We have a big downside, green candle, and then continue on flush. We had a big gap down here, little pop up, and then an additional flush. So just keep on your toes. So I want you to expose you to different market conditions so you can keep your head on a swivel and play what's in front of you. Right now, things are pretty tight. Yep. So I'm personally not touching this. But veteran always coming out, and he's reminding us of the 10:05 break, which comes in 15 minutes, about a little less than 15, about 13 minutes. Calm before the storm, it is for sure, for sure. There's going to be a lot of coiling going on right now, and see how this thing moves. All right, just waiting. Here's a little green action after coming off S2 and climbing, climbing, climbing. Twitter halted. Why was Twitter halted? Let's see. Please be because it's selling. Wow, man, what the heck happened to Twitter? Ah, CEO stepped down. Crazy. Can you imagine what happened with Tesla if something happened to Elon Musk? Like if he said, "I'm out, see ya," or yeah, it'd be crazy. Talk about volatility. Skadoosh. All right, so basically trading sideways between S1 and S2. No plays at the moment. Be waiting. We got 10 minutes till the 10:05 break. Let's see how that thing shakes out. Currently looking SPX right here. We're currently sitting right at the over-under line, right above the mid, and just sitting in between a lot of key points. Not a lot of movement so far, and we'll be waiting. We'll be waiting. That's our job, to be patient, wait, and do things right. We don't want to jump in any position to get smoked out. Is it too early to look at VIX and see a downtrend to pivot? It's never too early to look at VIX. VIX needs to be a key indicator. In fact, what I'm going to do is, as we approach the 10:05 area, I want to click on this and click on this. So I'm making sure I'm monitoring the VIX. This is the VIX right here. And I'm going to put a line right there. And I'm going to label this red. No, I need that to stand out. Let's do pink. Let's make it nice and thick. All right. So XLK has continued his little grind up march there. XLY finally climbing up there. XLV popped there. XLF still on the descent. There's the VIX. Look at the big downside there in VIX now. Let's see if the bulls can step in and carry this thing up over S1 towards R1, because right now we're just bouncing in between S2 and S1. SPX. 46. Okay. Man, premiums are super pricey. Super duper pricey. All right, VIX is there. Let's bring SPY up here. Still holding, still holding. We waiting, be waiting. Yep, implied volatility is very difficult. It's very high right now. So making premiums quite expensive. It's going to adjust your buying power. So be cautious of that. Make sure you are still appropriately positioning yourself and not overextending. Especially if you're getting yourself in a losing position. That's never fun. All right, got some questions going on here. Pojelly, all right, cool. Pojelly's asking a lot, answering a lot of good stuff. Good deal. Thank you. All right, yeah. So at 10:05 break is that's when the session ranges end. And here we got them turned on right there. Session ranges are the The yellow dots right here, it plots the high and low price between market open and 10:05 Eastern Time. And 10:05, we usually expect some kind of break in the price. That's one of the reasons why we end it right there at 10:05. We're currently smack dab right inside the middle of the range. We've got 6 minutes until it plays. Rejecting right off that. Look at that. It's playing S1 beautifully. Just reject, 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 reject. And now again, not even can get up there. So let's watch for S1 to be considerable if we start getting some upwards action. But we are rejecting once again. VIX coming down and bouncing off this 24. We can't give up 24. So let's watch this 24 level for a pivot of VIX. If we start to fail below there, we'll start looking at throwing in some calls. And if we still reject there, we'll be looking at some puts. All right. Still holding right there, S1. A little bit of bottom wick. VIX is down here. Let's look around. Still some action here. XLK. A lot of choppiness here. A lot of tight. It's not even chop. It's just tight. It's tightly wound right now. Tight, tight, tight. Let's look at the bonds here. The bonds are ever so slightly increasing with the rate still off here. OM is to go. Yeah. Yeah, don't front run it. Don't front run it. There'll be plenty of time when things break, so I'm just being patient here. We're still very tight. The price action is extremely tight. So just wait, just wait, just wait. Yeah, so while we're getting a break in the action, I want to remind y'all that December 8th, 9th, and 10th, I will be out of the office. So I'll still be posting pre-market analysis and the levels in the morning for you all. However, I won't be trading with you those days. I'll be out. So just be aware of that. 3 days you won't have me. You'll be after relying on each other and cool people in the channel and the resources you can discuss stuff off of. As well, remember December 1st, Tier 3, the Patreon or Tier 3 is going to change. I'm opening a backup because right now we've got a restriction of 30 people. So actually 50 people, but I've reduced to 30s, but we still have 50. I'll be reducing it down and I'll be opening that back up and we'll be changing to a classroom setting. All right, VIX finally breaks down. Now watch this level right here. This 2392 level I've got it set at. And here we are at S1, finally touching S1. Let's see how this thing rolls. We are 9:02, which are 3 minutes away from the 10 o'clock sesh. There's SPY right here. A little bit of buying activity increase right there in buying volume. Still holding S1. And right now we're pinging right off of it. Man, rejection right off S1. Look at that. Look at that. Would you look at that? Smooth. Look at that. All right. So, yeah. I saw the VIX come down. It bounced right off of my pink line here, which I made as the pivot. Rejected clean off S1. So I'm waiting to play the break here. All right, housing numbers are definitely incoming here. Let's take an eye and make sure that we're tracking. Nice clean rejection off S1. I love it when the levels are really playing true like this because it starts giving more and more confidence based on a particular level I can start playing off of. Yeah, one thing you need to be on the lookout is when the United States narrative of Omicron starts coming into play here. Um, I remember like they started even back in the original virus 2020 when they were talking about the virus, and then when they finally announced the first case, I think it was a few days after that is when the market actually started rolling. So just be on the lookout if they start bringing the United States narrative into the Omicron and they start painting it in a negative light, we could see some considerable downside this week. So that is one thing. That's why I said earlier, stay on your toes in terms of this week because we have a charged narrative, and it could bring some huge volatility and big price swings if they start playing into that narrative. I know there's a lot of people trying to downplay it and trying to defend it and all that stuff. There's naysayers and prosayers for it, saying, "Hey, it's not as bad as we think it is. It's a mild strain." But there's other people saying, "Yeah, but it's highly transmittable," and et cetera, et cetera. So we're still shaking and baking in terms of how we're going to filter through this market or the news to see how it plays out. Nope, yeah, J Powell's not talking yet. Even then, it's not considered to be a lot. He's just doing a virtual session. 10:05, no move yet. No move yet. We'll see. Just keep an eye on it shortly. Can I explain the difference between the old Patreon and new one? The old one was one-on-one, so I gave you two one-on-one sessions, which was great. It worked well. However, with the large influx, it quickly became overwhelming. So I had to make an adjustment as we grow in more and more and more to accommodate more people. Plus, I have a very long wait list of people wanting to join. So I was like, well, there's a couple of reasons. One, time resource. Two, with December, like myself, I'm going to take some vacation time as well as I'm sure other people will to spend time with family. So there'll be limited time resources to do the one-on-one. So I'd like to just go ahead and make the change. December 1st, we'll be going to group settings. I can help more people more directly, especially in off hours where there's no trading. So I can focus solely on teaching and not trading. Yeah. So we'll go from there, see how that works, and then maybe in 2022 we'll start opening up the idea of some more one-on-ones on a limited basis. I can't do that BP cam because of the YouTube. But right now, there's still a waitlist for Tier 3, but on December 1st, I will sign it back up so people don't get double charged. If you sign up now, you'll get charged now, and you'll get charged again in 2 days. So I'm going to open it up exactly on December 1st, uh, so people can sign up. No, they can halt. They can halt that as long as they need to. They'll halt the stock as long as they need to. It will be unlimited then. Tier 3 will be unlimited because it's a group session, so I'll be able to handle a lot more people as opposed to the one-on-ones. For those who didn't also notice that I posted everyone's always asked me all the time about my books and which books I prefer. So I did post the books in my merch channel, and all I did is link them to Amazon. So yeah, I didn't go out and buy a crap ton of books and let y'all buy them from me. I just linked them so you can buy them. It's just a good list, a cumulative list of the books that I've read that I stand behind that y'all could take a look at. I'm glad you like it, Elf Heart, for sure, for sure. All right, man, what a tight day. What a tight day. Right in between S1 and S2. Very, very tight. Some boring action going on. Boring action, boring action. It's almost like we're waiting for something. Yep, session range is set. So 464.59, 462.47. All right, nice heavy green candle right up to S1 again. Let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes. That's right. You don't want to force trade today. So currently right up to S1 and getting a wick out right there. So still pretty tight. A QQQ is still green up there. XLF, let's take a look. All right, so XLF looks like it might have a bottom forming. Let's see if that starts bringing in some bullish action into the SPY. XLV is still flat. XLY still uptrending. XLK, nice green candle there. SPY testing S1. Watch for a break of S1. I probably won't really consider going too long until I start to see a break above the channel here. Maybe I'll do a quick scalp if we start to see some huge volume coming to the market. But look, very low buying volume right now, as well as continue to reject right off of S1. We do, we do. Alrighty. Another rejection off of S1. Still maintaining right there. Not much action and playing right there. Staying frosty. That's right, Night Frog. Yeah, buddy. All right, so let's take a look. I just definitely want to be apprised of everything. Make sure I'm looking at the whole kit and caboodle. There's the 1 year. So overall red volume today, although low, we see that big uptick in selling volume as we smoked, $10.50 on Friday. We are right now above barely the high price of Friday. Let's see if we can maintain this level or start to climb. Another rejection right off of S1. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Haven't looked at that before, so yeah. All right, so there's a couple of different theories right now, especially with applied volatility very high. You can start doing a strangle of this type of action here. You can play some iron condors. You can do some short calls, short puts with a hedge on there. So there's a couple of different strategies you can take advantage with this tight action here and take advantage of theta instead of fighting theta. If you've got that kind of buying power and know-how. Know-how. So if you're going to do that stuff, just make sure you've got the know-how in addition to the buying power. Otherwise, you can start smoking yourself out and put yourself in a sketchy situation. Good. I want Boeing to drop. Keep on dropping it. I'll load the boat, baby. Load the boat. Do you think it's feasible to set a goal of 5% per day? Do you mean 5% overall portfolio gain or 5% just on a particular trade? 5% overall portfolio gain is very, very aggressive. And put in perspective, if you were to maintain 5% every day in perpetuity, you would be the best trader in history. So I mean, just make sure if you're caging your expectations. One of the big thing of managing your emotions is setting realistic expectations. I think 5% per day is quite aggressive. I would say more like 3% per week, 1 to 3% a week would be more realistic, and it'll cage your expectations. Because if you go for 5% overall portfolio a day, in order to do that, you're going to have to take larger position sizes than normal. You're going to start overexposing yourself, and you're going to destroy your emotions when you find out that you cannot sustain that. Because I promise you, you cannot sustain that. Not in the long term. Nobody can. I can't sustain that. Nobody can sustain that. So um, aim for 1 to 3% per week, and even that is leaning towards the aggressive side of things. So you may go on a run and hit 3% a week for a lot of weeks, but eventually you're going to get slapped down. Even me, like I have red weeks too. So can you elaborate why you're so bullish on Boeing? Yeah, same reason why the federal government is not going to allow Boeing to fail. It's not. Boeing is as Boeing is as American as Ford, as apple pie, as baseball. Boeing is not going anywhere. They're either deeply embedded with the military, federal government, commercial aerospace, uh, defense, the defense sector. You can't look at anything aviation related without running into Boeing. So long term, Boeing is never going away. In fact, this is a fantastic buying opportunity. You want to buy when people are scared, and sell when people are greedy. And for me, this is a huge buying opportunity for Boeing. Yeah, yeah, they're great aircraft. Great aircraft. I've been on Airbus and Boeing's Airbus like Allegiant. The Airbus fly or Allegiant flies Airbuses, and obviously the Boeing's are all over the place. So 737s, 787s. All right, still holding just under R2. Yeah, in a typical bear market like that, where things are tight like that, except for you're gonna have very low VIXs, like you're gonna have the very low VIX, so even premium will be pretty cheap. And it's when you get a long term bear market or just a basic sideways market, it really is difficult to trade, even for the premium players too. So holding under S1, yeah. Yeah, 1 to 3% per week overall portfolio game, and even that is lofty. So if you are looking for some long-term growth and you want to set goals, 1 to 3% a week is even that is lofty. All right. Once again, how many rejections of that is the S1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rejections of S1 so far. On the money. 463.50 coming on down. I fly the 320, 321. I'll say this: cockpit is superior for room, and compared to 730, I love the BA style. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've heard great things about the avionics in the Airbuses and the easeability to fly those. So I've never sat in the cockpit of one. I would love to. I would love to. Would it be good to buy calls with 2 week expiration date from now and hold for a week during the bears sideways trading? No, you don't want. To me, I don't want to hold anything in a sideways chop market. All you're going to do is fight theta. You're going to get decayed. So would this be a great terrible time for a straddle position? It depends on when you think the move's going to be made. Right now, all morning has been fantastic for some strangles, but for some short strangles. But with these straddles, if we think we're going to get a big move, yes, a straddle would be a great time to jump into one. However, we just need the market to move one way or the other. Now, granted, we do have a high implied volatility right now, so you may start to face some crush if we do get a move, so be aware of that. However, if you do anticipate a large move, yeah, a good time to take a straddle. Do not get greedy in these environments. If you can edge out a 5, 6, 7% gain, take it. Don't hope for 30%ers. The environment does not support a 30% win on today, even with zero DTEs. So until we get a move in the market. Pilot used to know said, "If it ain't Boeing, I ain't going." Yeah, yeah. I don't look at I look at VWAP. I don't spend too much time to look at the EMA's W's. But yeah, I see you. Is there a difference between watching the VXX over the VIX? Yeah, the VXX is the VIX of the VIX, if that makes any sense. And then the VIX is the VIX. And then the VIX of the VIX of the VIX is the VIX. So you want to make sure you're watching the VIX. Y'all crazy. What part of Texas do I live in? I live in Texas. Yeah. Yeah, so obviously Twitter's got some news going on right now. But yeah. Why don't I trade the 8 and 21 anymore? I still do trade the 8 and 21. It's just I'm really focusing on removing all technical indicators. My goal is to have all technical indicators off my chart, 100% of it, and only trade volume-based stuff. I want to trade the VP, SR levels, and then be very market aware. That's my goal. Because I think the more you can remove technical indicators, the more accurate you can be long term. Like the 821, the EMAs, all that crap. I want all that. I want all that off, and I really want to trade, focus on SR levels and a couple of highly confident volume-based indicators. I use E-Trade to trade futures. And then crypto, I'm in the process of developing a crypto portfolio, so I currently don't trade it, but I'm going to be trading it. When I mean by trading it, I mean long-term investing. I'm not going to be day trading crypto. All right, there's a little red right off of S1. Alrighty, man, right off of S2. Beautiful rejection and support there. So right there, 46363, and then right off of that, 46268. All right, QQQ's got some red. Watch out. Q's are starting to reject a little bit. XLV is coming down. XLY, XLK. Got a little red coming in here. Let's watch for S2 break. Where's the VIX? I'm going to bring up double chart here for VIX. VIX is climbing up here, 2461, still maintaining. And we're currently sitting at S2. I'm going to bring up some puts in the event that we reject S2 so we could scalp some downside. Be aware if I do take a position, I'll probably be in and out very quickly. So just be advised of that if you're going to elect to use me as an indicator. So let's see here. Bam, smoked S2. Green candle, immediate green candle. That's right, Po Jelly. No trades today, Garcia. All right, VIX still climbing. QQQs get some green. Can't make a scene that you don't got the green. 462.69, trying to come right here below S2. I'm using TradingView, John. TradingView. Anybody do any Black Friday shopping? Like actually go out and do it? It's crazy. We went to the big local mall here, which is very famous and very large, later on in the day with a family, and man, that was a terrible idea. Not to mention, one, you can get all the deals all the deals in store you can get online, but man, that was a terrible idea. Terrible idea. Right off of S2, 462.84. And a green candle smoked out to red. I did find some good monitor deals. Yeah, yeah. All right, look at this. Red is coming through S2. What's QQQ doing? Still on the round over. Look at the VIX. The VIX is popping up here as now we're blasting through S2. Big red candles right through S2 coming down to S3, and we are churning and burning, baby. Yeah, online shopping is going to be the way to go. And it's going to be funny. It's going to be fun how things change in the next, 10 years with brick and mortar stores, online retail, and it will change the market as well. I mean, look at Best Buy, for example. Best Buy just completely rebranded. They gutted all their stores and cut them in half, where half of the store is now closed off in its inventory, and the other half is greatly reduced to just a basic showroom stuff. Because people, what they do is they go into Best Buy and they use Best Buy as test stuff out. They go look on it, and then they go leave the store. They go on Amazon or wherever, and they buy it online. So or Best Buy is rebranding to deal with all this stuff and online retailers, and it's gonna put a lot of people out of business. It's gonna put all the brick and mortars. I would say within a decade, all that stuff is gonna be out. You can't. What are you gonna do? You can't open up more Best Buys. So all you become is a showground or showroom floor for Amazon. And then Jeff Bezos is like, thanks Best Buy. Thanks for being our showroom. So. Anyway, right here on S3, I'll be waiting for a move off of this. That happened quick right through S2. Nice ace net gains, well done. Little bounce off S3 here. Let's see, XLY, XL there, bye-bye. Clean bounce right off S3. Let's take the pistol talk to the general, please. Trust me, I love talking about firearms, but let's move it over to general. I use Pro Plus, John. Actually, no, I take that back. I now have Premium, but the only reason I got Premium is because of the Black Friday deal. Otherwise, up until Friday, I had Pro Plus. But Pro Plus is definitely sufficient. Yep, that's the problem, Nanya. That's the problem. All right, look at that green right off of S3. Beautiful for strangled if you're holding those. And coming on up, coming on up. That's why you got to wait for confirmation there, because I saw some break in the action through S2. I was looking to take puts on a smoke through S2 and immediately bounced up there. So what really spooked me out is that as I was looking to take puts here, right when it popped, this first candle, when it started forming, it immediately was green, immediately. And then came on down, and now we have this green. So that green candle spooked me of taking some puts right here. And of course now we've got that strong bounce, in fact down to the penny on S3. So things are working great right now. So should I let up on puts on Best Buy? 10-year puts, if you could take some 10-year puts, yeah, for sure. Man, another red candle right after the green coming down to S3 again. Let's take a look at the seller's volume here. Booyah. Where can I get your levels every day? I save my levels for the Patreon subscribers, so you have to go in there. There's a link in the description of the live stream, Patreon. Head on over there, choose which level you want to be a part of. All three levels of the Patreon get access to the SR levels, and then you have to link. You have to make sure you have to link your Discord account to your Patreon account, and that opens up all your permissions into Discord. And you get down and you go to the left side of the Patreon, and you can choose all the different channels. And I post all of my levels there. Nice, MZ. A little 25 percenter. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, healthy red candle coming right back out down onto S3. QQQ's got some red. What's XLF is still down. A lot of red coming into the market here. A lot of red. Now we're passing through S3. Ever so gently. VIX is on the climb. On the climb. Man, look at that big old red candle. I do have an S5 primed and ready to go, and I'll post it if we need it. VIX is uptrending. Now, here's something to be considerate of. We are now below the PM range, or I'm sorry, the AM range. So it's 9:38 Central, 10:38 Eastern Time. We're now broken out of the downside of this range. We kind of had a mean reversion back inside, and now we blew right back out the bottom. And we have this healthy red candle starting to form right out of the bottom. QQQ is red. SPY has got this healthy candle, no wicks right now, which tells me sellers are very much in control of this particular time. And 461.98 and falling after popping up to 464.57. Nice melter method. Well done. Well done. 11.79%. And right back to S3. So let's see if we can break back inside the session range as we come back up through S3 and climbing a little bit. Man, it's only 9:40. I feel like I've been talking for like 3 hours just watching this chop, but it's only 9:40. The market's only been open for an hour and 10 minutes. 13% on 2 putts and a tiny count. Nice. Well done, Z Brenny. Well done. So that green candle now, top wick. The VIX is still on the climb here. SPX there. QQQ has got some 395.83. A little bit of green there. XLV, XLF. All right, so we're kind of at this little make it or break it zone here. We're now below pre-market and falling green candles are getting smoked out. Can't say I have, Vinny. All right. All right, little red candle right here. Watch out, because if sellers decide to step in here right now, we'll have considerable downside. Nice, healthy action there in the VIX being bought up. Tech now, little green. XLF, little green here. Let's see if what happens. If we stay below this session range, that's when we're going to start to become maybe a little more bearish going into the afternoon here. We need to start having a little reclamation up there to S3 into the AM session and figure out where the price is going to take us, because right now, looking a little weak. Looking a little weak. VIX, clean bounce. Look at that. Look where that thing bounced right off of. You want to tell me the VIX isn't important? Right there, key denominator of VIX, right, bouncing off of our pivot. One guy tried to tell me this weekend that VIX wasn't important and he doesn't see the need to use it. I was like, well, enjoy not making any progress in the next 20 years. Yep, I'll post it here if we start testing S4. I just, all I did is post them on live here. I didn't post them in the channel. The pivot levels for the VIX. There's only one. There's only one level. There's not multiple on the VIX. I rub VIX all over my chest before each trading session. It's funny. Nice, Alan. Well done. 5%. That works. That works. All right, green. Let's see if we break back inside the morning range. All right, let's watch here. All right, so VIX right here, you can kind of see it rejecting this pivot right there, which is kind of lower 25 range, as we're struggling to pop through S3 and back inside the AM range. QQQ's got a little strength. XLV, let's just make sure everything's got some green. XLF is just getting smoked all day. Downward action. The bonds are on a steady increase as the rates are on the steady decrease. And there's some green right there. That's right, Dirty Dusty. Love it. 5% movers on a day like today are fantastic. You have to adjust your expectations. On a day with $10 moves, yeah, 20% and 30% is actually pretty good. And that's good and obtainable. Day like today, it's a lot of unobtainium. 5% on a day like today is fantastic. Take 5%, get out. Now, with a VIX like this, it's more likely to hit 440, not 470. When you have an incredibly high VIX, 24 and climbing, that puts a lot of downward pressure on the market here. It's very volatile conditions, whereas it's basically, when you've got the VIX at 25, it's a very charged market. Think about it as a powder keg. All it takes is one match, and the whole thing blows up. You have to trade on your toes. That's why the layman's definition of volatility is the market's way of pricing in an expectation of a large move. So when you've got a very high VIX, very high volatility, implied volatility is very high, premiums are very expensive, the market is pricing in a move. And right now we're sitting on a powder keg. It's a good way to look at it. So, hey, 411 people watching, if you wouldn't mind, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new, if you want to come over and hang out with us, talk with us, educate yourself on a couple of cool theories about volume price analysis and some pivot level trading. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff rolling out here in the fall, not only my how-to series on YouTube. However, I'm going to be releasing a lot of different strategies, short strategies and theta strategies based on my PR levels that I'm working on behind the scenes to develop some great content and a great new strategy for short positions as well as my long positions that you see here. So if you want to be a part of that, hit that subscribe button and learn with us as we go into the new 2022 year and see if we can continue to make some money even when conditions change. That's the thing. The hallmark of a profitable trader is one that can sustain through ever changing dynamic conditions. So you don't just be profitable in 2020 and 2021 where it's just buy the dip, ride calls into oblivion and make your money so you can sit at the Thanksgiving table and tell your friends how big fancy trader you are. So be able to sustain through this through 20 years, 20, 25 years. Dynamic conditions where things change, up, down, sideways, bear market, bull market, who cares? Gold jacket, green jacket, who gives a poop? So, yeah. These two DTE contracts have a noticeably high premium. Is that because of recent $10 drop? That's because the implied volatility is very high. Volatility is over 25. Implied volatility is very, very pricey, which is pricing in these premiums to be very high. They're a little harder to change. Red candle right off of S3. Do I ever worry about wash sale? No, I do not. No, I do not. Thanks, Alan Frog. Appreciate it. Love to see it. Love to see it. All right, bottom wick right off of S3 and coming right back inside the session range. Let's see if now we can close inside that range and start making some upwards grounds. If not, it could get a little dicey. A little dicey. +1 for the Happy Gilmore reference. So yeah. Yeah, if you're an 80s baby and you have not seen Happy Gilmore, you are wrong. Fantastic 90s movie. All right, so we're rejecting the top of that range, now squished in between S3, and we are failing S3 to the downside as it's not looking good. Looking good. Has your wife expressed any opinions on Omicron? She hasn't. She hasn't. It's still very early to tell, and there's a lot of conflicting data coming out. Is it bad? Is it good? Or not good? But is it bad? Is it not so bad? Is it is what they say it is? So, and then you have to filter out what the media says, and then what the actual healthcare professionals say. So no, nothing yet. Oh man, you exposed your kids a Short Circuit last night for the first time. Well done. Well done. Fantastic movie. One of the best 80s movies out there, in my opinion. Highly underrated movie. Love to see it, merch, for sure. All right. VIX now is holding 25.21. Let's look around here. XLK, XLF. Look at that. New lows on XLF. XLC is testing lows. A lot of selling action coming into the market, just creeping in. But it's not getting in here on large swings. We're just kind of creeping in the selling volume. It's just trickling down, trickling down, trickling down. So all right, here we go. Watch this. Watch this. Do you live trade every day? Yes, I do. On YouTube, I only trade Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I also trade in the Discord for my Patreon subscribers. But YouTube, just Monday, Wednesday, Friday. All right, so this is a heavily defended level, apparently. We're just flipping back and forth, red, green. A lot of wicks top on the bottom, hovering right at S3, right below it, right on it. And we're trying to come back inside the range. Can't quite get there. So this should be a pivot point on which to start planning out an entry. That's a good that's a good theory. It brings up a talking point about like someone just said it keeps bouncing off the 100 simple moving average. Um, there's been a lot of different things. I think 4 or 5 different people have said it's bouncing off one indicator or another. It's bouncing off this indicator. Well, it's bouncing off this one. Well, it's bouncing off this one. So there's so many different indicators that it's correlating with, bouncing off, ejecting. And it's like, which one can you trust? That's the thing. When does it work? When does it not work? How does it work? So I mean, that's kind of like thing. You have to be careful about technical indicators, because it can start to like give you a bias or give you a false sense of security. If you want to take a call here, for example, because it keeps bouncing off a particular indicator. Um, Whereas I like to, that's why I really want to focus on the volume here, because if the volume is considering it's going to reject, or if you have an influx of buying volume, that can start giving you support, and then a selling volume. I'm not saying don't use those indicators. I'm saying just make sure you're correlating that with actual data rather than just the line. All right, all right. Holding S3 right here. This is one of those things that could blow out the bottom. So I'm just watching closely. I've got my finger up on puts right now, and not saying I'm in puts, but I'm just waiting. If this does smoke down, I'll scalp a put down to S4 and see if we can jump in here. And if we bounce up, then I'll kind of change my thesis. But right now, I'm just waiting. Price and volume are main indicators we would truly need. Yes, absolutely. Price action, volume indicators. That's all you need. And now, and I actually have a video coming out today, a YouTube video coming out today, by the way, on this very discussion, is that once you can learn to analyze the market and volume, that should be 90% of your thesis, is the market and the volume itself. Then, once you can start to master how to read the market, you can start bringing in other technical indicators to kind of just give you some backup, maybe kind of refine things. My whole premise, and don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying technical indicators are bad. What I'm saying is that people make the mistake of like, say, hey, what kind of trader you are? What's your system? Instead of focusing on like telling me about their system, all they're doing is telling me what indicators they use. Well, I trade the 8 and 21 crossover. Well, I trade the EMAs. I trade MACD. Well, that's not a system. All you're doing is like, I could tell my 10-year-old to teach my 10-year-old, 11-year-old how to read the MACD. So the more you learn how to analyze the market, read the market, price action, volume, why things happen, read the VIX, interpret certain news events, that kind of thing. Once you learn how to do that, then you can understand the market and how things move, and then you can start tying in the technical indicators to back you up. So that's one of those things that I really want to really foot stomp, because it'll help you grow as a trader when you start reading how the market works. Well, how does gamma come into play? How does open interest come into play? Put wall, call wall. How does a large influx of price or large influx of volume with a very low amount of price action, what does that mean? How do you interpret that? So that kind of things. So look at all these top wick coming down almost to the exact penny, bouncing off S3 and rejecting just under S2 over and over and over again. So VIX has got a little green here. I'm sorry, red, and green is starting to climb. Well, thanks, Ray. Yeah. And the funny thing about that is that like I don't even have an urge to trade all this. Like that's the thing. Once you do this long enough, I don't have an urge to trade this. I'll trade. I'm being aware of the market, and I will set my entry based on a certain conditions. But I'm not sitting here waiting to like, oh, I got to get in here. Like I don't like I have no desire to fight this stuff. The bonds are very much climbing here, which you have this big rotation out of bonds and financials. But look, at financials is starting to round up here, so watch out for a rotation again. If we can break back inside the range here, maybe we could scalp some calls up there, but this is a decision point right here. Yep, that's right. TA Zeus is without corresponding volume. That's right. That's right. Jody, I've got a good video on how to trade the volume price indicator. If you go into my educational content under YouTube, I've got one called the volume profile indicator. It's fantastic for explaining that particular indicator. Is there any literature you recommend on learning what you're talking about? I know how important it is, but I'm just not sure how to learn this world. Yeah. Well, you all know I recommend greatly the volume price analysis book. I would read that one first, and I've actually got all of my literature on my merch store right now. I linked all the literature that I read so you can have easy access to it. So I highly recommend that. I'll post it right here. Bam. All right, so green candles finally back inside the range here, and maybe we can go on up. So we're back inside the range. We're back above S3, testing S2 again and rejecting S2 again. Let's take a look at SPX. So we've got this midpoint just over under 4630. Remember, negative gamma is 4620. You want to talk about volatility. The thing is, there's something that's it's interesting to think about. It's interesting to think about because if I remember right, we didn't hit. Did we hit 30 on the VIX in September? I don't remember. I have to look. But we're already holding 25 on the VIX. If we break into the zero gamma level, we break negative gamma, and then we start bringing a lot of volatility in the market. The market starts shorting again, and then actually we start shorting overall, not even again. And VIX starts going up even more. I mean, we're talking 35, 36, 37 on the VIX. And you want to talk about expensive premiums, wait until the VIX starts breaking upwards like that. And then you're going to start paying $30 plus just for a basic SPX contract. So it's start to get a little pricey. It's going to start to get a little pricey. Just make sure you are playing smart. Otherwise, you'll be handing out Jelly of the Month clubs for coupons for Christmas. So I want you all to play smart and don't get smoked out. Destiny said I would never give away any of my trade secrets. What do you mean? Can't close your contracts. Why can't you close your contracts? Do you choose one with low liquidity? right. E-Trade's not letting you. Well, if you want to DM me, I'll see if what the contract is. I don't know why. There might be some, yeah, because I know a couple of the December 30th contracts, they're a little low volume right now, so depending on what strike you found. Or yeah, if you have a PD, if you hit your PDT limit. So, all right, nice green candle right here. Right back inside the morning range. All right at S2 here. XLY's got a little red, K's got a little red, XLV is green, XLF is up right here on S2. That's right. That's the community we got. I want people to help people here. So interesting, interesting. Okay. A funny conversation we had this week while we're waiting for this break off S2 that I just thought of is Thanksgiving. All my family is from New York, like very, very northern family. However, we moved to the South when I was very young, like 4 years old. So I've been in the South my entire life. So all my Southern friends, all my Southern extensions of my family, like we have an argument over what's better: is it dressing or is it stuffing? And they're two different very things to cook on Thanksgiving. Where when you have down here. So it's always a fun argument to have, especially if you're familiar with both sides of the country, stuffing or dressing. I agree. I'm a stuffing kind of guy. So yeah, we moved down. My family moved down south before Giuliani took over, and New York was like a dumpster fire. Like my dad, he always told me that like you drive down downtown New York, and it was like 50-50 you're getting shot. So he moved the family out down south very very young, and before Giuliani cleaned up the city. So yeah, that's why I have a kind of a neutral accent. Well, in my definition, stuffing is like the cornbread type. It's like uniform stuff you could scoop out, and dressing is like you've got like the sausage and like the what's it called, celery, and the bread and all that kind of stuff. Good stuff. That's what I prefer. Anyway, back to the charts. Thought it was fun. All right, right off S2, we got a little green action coming right back inside. Up 21% on some puts. Nice, Nomad. Yeah, let me know what if I can help, Ho Jelly. I know that's a tough situation. So yeah, I can detect a little Texas and not a New York accent. Well, yeah, I've been here my whole life. Like I said, my dad sounds like he's from out of Goodfellas, but I'm from down south. I've been here my whole life. So actually, he's since passed on, but he did sound like he was from the Goodfellas. All right, right through S2, 462.82. And we're right back inside the range to the bottom and climbing back up. Nice, good. I'm glad you're able to get out of that. All right, looking for some inside big volume but little price action for a particular candle. So when you've got a big volume and not very big price action, it tells me that the opposing force is still there. That means that whatever, if it's a big buying volume, for example, and the price moves very little, that's a bearish sentiment to me. That means the sellers are still smashing that candle. So look at that green action right through S2, now back inside the range and heading up to S1. Nobody knows I'm Canadian until I say out or about or sorry. About. All right, so we've got the volume profile node right there, the POC. We're rejecting right off of it. It's in between S1 and S2, and a little on the lower half of the range, but right in the middle, trending upwards. Still can't close a contract. Make sure you've got an open order. Yeah, there you go. So nice little green action here. That yellow line is the POC for the volume profile. Utes versus youths. What's a ute? All right, so coming up to S1 once again. Looks like we're approaching that level where we rejected like 15 times this morning. Look at that. A ton of rejections off of S1. So I'll be looking for another put at S1 if we do get up there, and I'll be looking for the commensurate action to the downside. The bonds now have been uptrending all day. XLF is kind of forming this bottom after a heavy downside there. XLY is climbing up there. XLV is climbing up. XLC is there. So yeah, a little bit of temporary buying action where tech is chopping. I'm going to give this a few more minutes here, and I'm going to hop off. Do a few things behind the have to do a few things behind the scene, trim up the YouTube video that I recorded this weekend, so I'll be posting that today. Be on the lookout for that to further on the how-to series of trading. How I go about my thought process for exiting, entering. It's a fantastic movie, John. Fantastic movie. What's up, Gino? How's it going, buddy? Woohoo there. I'm looking for puts on SPY, coming up to S1, which is my red level right here. So I'm looking for a rejection of the S1, which we've had all morning right here, to take some more puts on the downside. Clean rejection off POC. Do you offer teaching on your specific style of option trading? Could I handle this type of trading? Yeah, I do, Will. I do. I also obviously I do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Not to mention I live stream Tuesdays, Thursdays in the Discord. So I'm constantly talking, interacting, so I can teach as much as I can. However, I do offer a tier 3, which is a group session that'll be starting on December 1st. So if you do want to be a part of that, it'll be 2 to 3 or group sessions every month that'll go over a classroom setting, answer a crap ton of questions, subject matter, going over things that are custom to your questions. So on my S1, S2 levels from a fib retracement, no, they are from open interest, gamma levels, and volume. Yeah, fib retracement wouldn't be very accurate in the long run, at least not to this degree, where you get bounces down to the cent. Naderade, yeah, my volume profile is just I don't change a thing. I add it and that's it. I don't adjust anything. Just make sure you've got extended hours on there. But man, rejecting that POC right there. QQQ. Little green VIX rejected this 25.37, coming on back down. I know the feeling, Miguel. I know the feeling. I hate that for you, Jelly. I know that's an aggravating situation there, but just stay on the horse, keep on grinding. How can I join the course? On December 1st, I'll reopen the Tier 3, because if you notice, the Tier 3 is currently locked. That's because I've got too many people. I've got 50 people. It's doing the one-on-ones is a lot, so I locked it down. December 1st, I'm going to open it back up. I don't want to open it now because if you sign up now, you'll get charged today and on December 1st. I don't want you to get double charged, so I'll open it back up on December 1st. For anybody who wants to join, you can do that. There won't be any limitations after December 1st. Why do you like TradingView over others? To me, TradingView cannot be beat in terms of the tools and the analysis objectives that you have for the charts. There's not a better charting tool out there, in my opinion. So, you can have all these tools here. You can use anything in the book that you want to set lines and averages and all that crap. So, not to mention you can set alerts. Oh, nice, David. Yep. Yeah, we'll do all that. I'll put out more information about that going into December. All right, I'm going to give this till 10:30 my time, 11:30 Eastern, and I'm going to hop off here. We got another 13 minutes, just because I want to see if I can get me in a play. Playones. Another red, another red. So very tight price action right here, holding 463.23. And a red green coming back there. All right, nice little bottom wick coming up to the POC. Okay, so it's still holding this level. At this point, I'm not set on calls and puts right now. I am going to start looking at puts when we come out to S1, but the way things are kind of going here, it's going to shake out. So it will be interesting to say the least to go into the last half of the afternoon. Point of control. POC stands for point of control. All right, a lot of wicks right up here at the POC 463.29 and climbing. How do you get the POC on TradingView? If you go into your indicators and type in VP, go on down to KV4 coins right here. This is this guy. And this is the volume profile indicator right there. So add that indicator. The POC is the largest distribution of volume on that volume profile indicator, which is indicated as the golden line, the POC line on the volume profile. So you're welcome, John. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's for me. I want to. My objective is to lower as many people's learning curve as much as possible. I don't want people to have to suffer through 3, 4, 5 years of trading, which you will anyway, because that's the name of the game. But my goal is to lower that learning curve for you as much as possible, so you can kind of avoid making the mistakes that I made, losing 56 grand like I lost, blowing up your accounts like I did, etc., etc. So if I can help you do that, then to me that's a win. It does look like a day for theta plays. It does. Everybody gets one. Yeah, everyone blows up their account once or twice. Every single trader I've talked to that's worth their money, who has made big plays, who has become successful, every one of them, 100% of them, has at least blown up one account. Sometimes two, sometimes three. There was one guy that I read about. 10 years he lost money. He lost money for 10 years before he finally made it big. He turned like, I don't know, like 8 grand into 5, 10 million, something like that. So it takes that long. Like you can start refining the skill, grinding the X, and then boom, you make money. Yes, everyone loses money up front, but it's the losers. The only way that you actually lose money in the long term, the way that you fail, is that you quit. What separates us from the big guys is they don't quit. They don't quit. But you have to learn from yourself. You have to learn from yourself. You cannot call it market tuition if you're not learning. If you're just throwing money away, you're not learning anything. It's not market tuition if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah, honey, I lost 10 grand for the 5th time this week. It's market tuition. it's just part of it, honey. No, you can't do that. You got to learn from your mistakes. Make a trading log. Take notes. Adjust. So, yeah. Anyway. All right, so we're still holding that POC on this green. I'd like to take puts at S1. Nice, Maddie. Yeah, for sure. Change it. Change it. How do you blow up an account if you're doing risk management? Because the people that are new don't know how to do risk management. If you're new to the game, you don't fully understand it. And that's part of learning. I'm not, no condescension here, but it's just part of learning. I didn't have it. I certainly didn't. My first year, I blew up an account because I didn't respect the market. I thought it was all rainbows and unicorns. It's simple. You put money in, you make money. It's that simple, right? Why doesn't everybody do this? And then I blew up an account. So. Nice little green through the point of control. Man, look at this nice big green candle here. All right, just watching here. You want to trade options on ETF? Yes, I do. SPS, XPX, SPY. Rarely I'll throw in some QQQ, but yeah, that's all I trade. SPY, SPX profits. Newbie here with strong risk management skills. So you're saying to make it, you have to blow up? No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that the people that I've learned from, all of them, every one of them have blown up an account. I'm not saying it's a requirement. I'm just saying it's common. So don't get down on yourself if you do blow up an account, because it happens. It happens. Risk management is the name of the game. If you don't respect it, then you know you can blow up. It's very easy to blow up an account. All right, red candles here, right off of POC. What's the VIX now? It's starting to form a little base here. 2458 QQQ is rejecting the top of their session range. XLF has got some more downside. No, Ronar, no. To make an entry today, I took a short position on a strangle this morning, but I have no long positions. That I'm actually typing up the write up of it now. But yeah, no long calls. And the thing is, like you say, and like it's easy to say you'll never blow up an account because I thought it. Like, there's no way, especially if you got like 100 grand in your account. There's no way I could lose 100 grand. I would stop it before it got that far. Like I would pull the money out before I got that far. I'll never lose 100 grand. I'll never lose $400,000. Never. And then before you know it, in 45 days, it's gone. I could say that because I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. I've had people that I know in my personal life, come to me with $400,000 and say, "Hey, how do I do this? I just got this money. What do I do?" And then 45 days later, he had zero, nothing, gone. Booyah! It's so easy to do it. It's not even funny. And unfortunately, not many people realize that until it's too late. And it's death by 1,000 cuts. Some people, yeah, they YOLO it all of it and lose it all in one trade, and that's happened too. But most of the time, it's death by 1,000 cuts. They lose this, they lose that, they lose that, they lose this. The market changes against them. They don't realize it, and then they're down 100 grand. Then they get revenge trade and try to double down. Then they lose. Then they're down 200 grand. Then they're down 250, and it's just down and down and down. So it can happen to you, and it can happen to you very quickly. So just be aware of it. Nope, I didn't. I didn't grab a put. Yeah, this definitely is legalized gambling. And the more you learn about the market, the more you can move that needle away from gambling into variable risk. So you could start adjusting the needle away from gambling into calculated risk taking, and you can start making some money. Uh-oh, something's here. Big green right up to S1. Watch R1 as we're coming up to here just under 464. Oh, 1 second. Sorry about that. FedEx was at the door and they needed a signature. They kept ringing the doorbell. But, yeah. All right. So, we had a red candle, bought up, green candle, and now it's getting wicked. My dog just growled at your doorbell. Yeah, I haven't done an Alexa or a Google prank in a while. I think that's like summertime. I used to do that to y'all. Some people got mad at me though. I got DM saying please don't do that because it was waking people up. So I don't do it anymore. Nice, Tristan. I haven't, Ronar. I haven't. Let's look here. Just bear with me for a sec. All right, so that red bought up green right there, coming up to R, was it S1 right now? Just under R1. I don't watch CNBC, honestly, John. I don't. I don't watch Fox or CNBC just because I don't want any bias creeping into my systems. That's why I pretty much stick to Bloomberg. Not to mention, E-Trade does have a Bloomberg news outlet too. So if y'all are E-Trade members, you have Bloomberg News that you can use. Bloomberg TV. Yep. If you're on E-Trade, you go to the right. It says Bloomberg Television. You just launch that, and it's live market news. It's one of the things I want to get multiple monitors for, so I can keep news rolling. Have you bought any calls yet? Nope, not yet. I'll tell you when I do. I'll tell you when I do. Could you make a video on how to remove profit and loss motion while trading? I could do that. I could do that. My goal is to make a video pretty much about everything I can possibly think of in terms of my trading system over the course of the next 2-3 months. So, all right, coming up to R1, that's going to be the top level. If we break that one, be on the lookout. Q's broke above their range. SPX right here is over the over underline and now climbing 46.46. 46.50 will be a big one to look at. SPY. Watch VIX coming on down to the pivot point as well, and we're 46391. What about a book? That's interesting. Interesting. I'd like to do a book. Yeah, eventually. That might be a long-term thing. Right now, I'm focused on doing a lot of different things, so I gotta carve out the time. All right, 46370. Green candle wicked out right there, just under R1. We have a top out there at 46459, which is the day's session high, and then right now we're at 46377. So, what about 50 cents off of that? Got some green action here. V off of the 46179. Coming up to R1 again. Big green candles there, right through R1 and QQQ. So we got watch the VIX. The VIX is coming down a pink line. We're right almost down to the pivot. QQQ is breaking out the top. SPY is testing the top as well through R1. Man, big green. Smoking right up through R1 here. All right, watch the highs of this 46459. So everything seems to be testing the top of their morning where we were yesterday. Nvidia broke out the top. Facebook, there's that. Nothing crazy. All right, there's a little rejection right off R1 there. Do you think we'll have a Santa Claus rally? Man, this year I'm anticipating a little different stuff than last year. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's common for us to have some sort of rally going into the Christmas season. We've got a lot of variables though, man. We've been beast mode for 2 months straight now. October, November, just absolute climbing. Um, we did have a significant sell-off in September, so we're with a lot of bullish action here. We've and then now we've got a new variant that we'll see how this Omicron thing plays out, and we go in there. Plus we have tapering, which seems to be put on the back burner. Although some people are anticipating an earlier than a faster than normal, a faster than scheduled taper, as well as an adjustment of the rates. So there's a lot of different stuff can come out. If economic conditions deteriorate a little faster, they could start pumping up the rates a little bit sooner, which will lower the market. So there's a lot of different stuff coming out, and I'll be watching closely. Yeah, so watch this VIX. If VIX starts to separate from this level, we could start to smoke upwards through R2 and R3. So watch the VIX. Watch the VIX. All right. 4650 on the SPX, which is a key level. So we're now separated just above zero gamma. Now we're climbing back up steadily here. What's XLF doing? So XLF is still got this upwards little trend here after basing. XLV is nice and up. XLYK is definitely obviously up. So yeah. Alrighty here. All right there. QQQ's got a little red. All right, so we're trending up here. We're testing pre-market highs, as well as this little pump right there. We're right at R1. QQQ is up above their session range. They need to fall back in. Taking calls above S1 was dicey for me because we're right at R1, which right now we're pinned right on R1 here. So I'd be more apt to take calls above R1 if we start breaking above, because 4650 is a big range. R1's a big range on SPX. So if we start getting some upwards Momo here and a drop of the VIX, then I'll start looking at some strong upwards calls, which I do have calls up ready to go here. Strong bullish action ever since the morning hours of 9:42, about an hour ago. We've been strong bullish for an hour now. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and call that a morning. I got a lot of things I got to do. Watching a lot of chop here. I'm still going to be watching the market as always. I'll be lobstering the charts as well as the Discord. So if you want to come over, hang out, talk with us a little more, chat, we will do that. So yes, come over and send us a message. If you want to join the Discord and the Patreon, the links are down in the description of this video. If you want to take a look at the books, theoptionsmillionaire.com, visit that website and see if there's any books you want to read. So I appreciate you taking time to be here. It's been a fantastic morning. A lot of great conversation. I feel like even though there's been some chop here, we've had a lot of good conversation, a lot of great questions. I love the conversations and the inquisitive nature of the channel. So thank y'all for being here. If you're not in the Discord, we'll be back online here on YouTube on Wednesday morning. Be on the lookout for that. If not, I will see y'all tomorrow bright and early in the Discord. Y'all take it easy. Have a good day. I'm out.